Welcome. Good to see you guys.
Mm.
It's a nice. What do you got on there? Is that a red? Is it color off?
Oh, it's pink.
Pink. It's nice. I like
Yeah.
a very deep pink.
Yeah, it's my sister's.
All right. I have a pink button-down shirt. I have a couple. One, two, at least three. Three pink. I like pink. Pink's good on. I got a
Me
couple
too.
good pink ties. Anyway, I digress. Welcome to day two. It is a phenomenal day. We are on fire, and I am excited. I'm grateful. Gratitude and community. Who on your team supported you this week? And how did they do it? Anyone? We got like 200 people on this call. I don't know. Not all at once. All right.
You reminded me to call Bradford or Beckham. Um, you also reminded me to reach out to Joy about Plainfield. Um, yeah, so you supported me in keeping me on my toes and making sure I'm paying attention to the right things.
Nice. The
Sorry about that.
theme of the week is practice like an Olympian, right? Practice like an Olympian. From power up to personal application. What skills have you been focusing on since power up yesterday? And before you answer that question, we were talking about this yesterday, we were talking about it yesterday because we were talking about how we watch the Olympics and we see like greatness, right? We see things we're like awestruck in many cases, especially with this skiing stuff. It's like, right? And when you think about it, same thing when we watch the best basketball players or the best football players, we don't really think about, we see the surface, right? We don't really think about the hundreds of hours of practice that it took to get to that point. And we've spoke about this many times in the past, right? Average football player practices 45 hours a week to play 8 minutes of game time a week, you know? So it's something that when we put into our practice, and I don't mean our practice, but like we run a practice, you run a practice, like much like a doctor, right? When you put it into application into your world in when it comes to real estate, I suggest getting obsessed on practice. Period. I would suggest getting obsessed on practice. I would suggest becoming unstoppable with everything as it relates to your business. I got a computer crashing with one of our agents, right? Like, here's how I think. This is just me. And this is not to say if you don't think my way, you're not thinking the right way. But the way I think is if my computer crashes two or three times, I think it happened yesterday. I'm online the next minute buying a new computer. I don't have the time, the patience, or desire to let that interfere with my business. When the floods of 2012, Hurricane Irene, ravished North America and New Jersey, my office got flooded out, 3.5 feet of water,
Mm.
just below the mechanics of my brand new $10,000 paid for cash copy machine. I had to go buy waiters because the National Guard wouldn't let me drive. Of course you can't drive, but past the Essex Airport, Essex County Airport on Passaic Avenue, because my office was like 400 yards past it. Um, and I had to go turn around, go to Home Depot, buy waders, come back, park, prior to the water, and then go walk. They let me go walk it just to see the damage. And but when that happened, I didn't get frustrated. I didn't get distracted. I literally got what I could, which was important to my business, and I set up shop in my mother's Upper Montclair condos peninsula in her cat infested apartment, right? Three, four cats in a 900 square foot apartment, a lot of cat hair on that computer keyboard, right? But I just kept going. Nothing was going to slow me up. And that's when I was listing 35, 45, 50 properties a year. And it's this obsession. Maybe we should have a whole week on obsess on the stuff. Gold medal focused, right? Part two, one event, one goal. Narrow your focus, a bigger impact, right? Gary Keller says you got to go small in order to grow large, grow big. Many agents lose momentum by trying too many things at once. I'm always going to tell the truth and be transparent. I'm a cautionary tale of that. Olympic athletes narrow their focus and win at their event. If they could win gold in one activity this week, if you could win gold in one activity this week, what would it be? And again, just as an anecdote, I've shared the Dave DeVoe, Eric Melnikoff kind of parallel, right? He was a couple months ahead of me, but he focused on that practice. I did it, but not as intense. So what would that one thing be if you could win gold this week? What would it be?
Mm, I'm conflicted. I would like to say, does practice count? But I'd also want,
Practice.
yeah,
Practice is all about practice. The theme of the week is practice like an Olympian. It's not play like an Olympian. Got to understand this. Very, very critical. It's not play like an Olympian. It's not perform like an Olympian. Before performance, before you get on stage, before you get on the field, you know this as a soccer player. You have to have hours and years of practice to even get good. So, what is the one thing if you could win gold in this week, what would it be? Lead gen, follow up. Oh, it's not there, huh?
yeah, it's not there.
Okay.
I would have set appointments. Like that's my other one though.
Appointments. All right. That's key. I have a goal to set one appointment a day, and I consider a walkthrough an appointment. It doesn't have to be a listing appointment, it doesn't have to be a buyer consultation. It's a walkthrough. It's getting face to face with a prospect. And, to that end, I've been calling and texting and calling and texting since, what was it, Friday that I spoke to that? Or no, it must have been Thursday.
Yeah,
Thursday, I spoke to that FISBO.
it was before that.
Wednesday? Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. It was Tuesday or Wednesday because it was Tuesday of last week. She had to work 12-hour shift on Wednesday, but she had showings on Tuesday. So I texted her, I supported her. I hope the showings went well. I can't wait to hear how it goes. And then every day I texted her on Wednesday. I texted her and called her and texted her. Every time I call and they don't answer, I text about 5 to 15 minutes later. And I did that through the weekend. I might have taken Friday off, but I did it Saturday. Then I did it again on Monday. And but Monday's text, rather than send her all this glitz and glamour of how I'm great and how I want to help them, I simply said, "Hey, hope the showings went well. Hope your weekend went well." And I changed it up. I said, I was going through my database, and I do have a family where your property meets a lot of their criteria. What I say exactly to her, and I just said, "What's the chance I could see it?" I didn't say I want to show it. I said, "What's the chance I could see it?" She finally responded. Let me see. I said, "Hey, Christy, I didn't hear back from you. I have," I said, "has." I had somebody in my database asking about a house like yours. What's the chance I can see it? She follows up. I might have some time Wednesday to show it. So the point is that I just want to get in. I just need to start getting in. Instead of worrying about hitting the grand slam with the listing appointment, I just want to get on first base, right? And I'm getting on first base tonight with a guy who is all over the place, and I don't know what's going to come of it. But if I just get in, yes, I want to set a listing consultation, and I got to be careful not to get caught up in just setting, hitting what do you call that? Singles. Is that a single in
What do you
baseball?
mean?
When you get on first base, that's a single. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to be careful not to hit singles all day long. But if I can hit, two or three singles a week and one or two listing appointments a week, those singles over the course of a month, 12, 10, 12, 15 singles, maybe a double here or there, maybe a stronger walkthrough. Maybe a double is when I go back for another walk. If I just start getting face to face, it's going to compute into listings. So yours is listing appointment or appointments. What does a gold medal performance look like in the activity you choose this week? Right?
My
What
goal
change?
is 2 appointments a week, so two
Say it
appointments.
again.
My goal for the week, like on Rivity, is 2 appointments a week. So yeah, that.
So then we got to look at our performance. Like, what is that gold medal performance? We talked about practice, but what does it look like to perform at gold level status, at gold medal level, right? What changes need to be made in your schedule or priorities to make it happen? Again, like we have an agent who's having a trouble with their computer. It's like, are we just going to deal with that? When I had problems with my car and my engine blew, I went into Hawk to rent a car immediately. Like nothing could slow me down. What results do you expect from the focus, right? So here's my suggestion, and it's a question. My suggestion is to analyze your performance. It says here in the middle, what changes need to be made in your schedule or priorities to make it happen, and to look at like I've gotten back to, you can't really see it, but I've gotten back to my color quoted color coded weekly schedule. I'm 2 weeks in advance. Um, and I've gotten kind of hyper focused on the frameworks so that I could show up and make the calls and not have to think too deep past making the calls. And in that, I get to perform like a gold medalist, right? And rather than worry about my gear and worry about my environment and worry about the perfect, I was watching some show where they say that the suits that the ski jumpers wear, like they did research and study, and they said that if the crotch area is like 2 centimeters bigger, they go like 15 yards further.
Yeah,
So what
the
they were
surface
doing,
area.
they were doing something, and it's illegal.
Yeah, they're putting hydrochloric acid in their penises.
What are they doing?
They're inserting hydrochloric acid in their penises to temporarily make it bigger so that they have more surface area in the air and they fly for
Let's
longer.
note hydrochloric acid on my
I'm pretty sure it's hydrochloric acid. It could be
something like that.
something.
Yeah. You saw the same thing I saw. It's like, wow, I should have been doing that when I was dating.
But the thing about it is it makes it bigger for a little bit and then it shrinks it down smaller.
Uh, Okay, well,
Yeah, so
thank God I wasn't doing that because I can't. So, at the end of the day, it's like, look, what does the gold medal performance look like in your world? Huh? Think about that. For me, I have to, the changes I have to make is my schedule, is getting back to, not winging it. I could do all right winging it. I could make a couple bucks winging it, but I could double and triple that. And I've got proof of that, you know. For years I would write my schedule out, but I wouldn't really follow it that well. I mean, I would in the morning, and then the afternoon just went. Look, the reality is this: you really don't have to be obsessive compulsive over your morning schedule. I put empty spots in my afternoon schedule for appointments. As long as I crush the morning, the afternoon just materializes. It just works itself out. It's pretty cool. Um, I love it. What's the daily promise? What commitment are you going to make today in the next 24 hours to move your business forward?
spread the information about the listing, Bradford's listing, to as many investors and home developers as I can find in the database. This is exactly why I've been tagging investors for the last couple months.
Nice. Perfect. I'm going to set one appointment today. I'm going to get face to face with somebody. That appointment will be in the next 5 to 7 days, business days,
Awesome.
preferably before the end of the week. All right. Let's dive in. William, you have any goals? You have any commitments you're going to make to move your business forward?
Yeah, I mean, just like what I've said before, only one goal, just keep calling up until I actually reach to the point that they don't pick up anymore or they keep yelling at me.
How many appointments are you going to set today?
As long as it's real, like what I've said, one or two, so
Minimum
I can
one?
have like a buffer.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I love it.